Hi, my name is Yi. I'm the founder of Cerano, and today we are reintroducing a product that we actually introduced 9 months ago. It's called Cerano. So Cerano, the first version that we introduced was kind of an AI chatbot. You can ask questions about your Odoo database and get an instant answer back. But the problem with the first version is that it wasn't really that accurate. And the reason why it wasn't accurate is because it was kind of doing one-shot reasoning. It's just go into the database, get the data, and then give you the response. So it wasn't really thinking deeply about the problem, and it didn't have the tools to get exactly the data that it needs. So that's what's different about this new version, and I'm happy to report that the result that we get is extremely accurate. And actually, whenever there's something unexpected in the result, it's usually because of my misunderstanding rather than Cerano's. So it really rivals and exceed the capability of even a human data analyst. So Cerano is an analytics platform, and it's agentic. It's not just a buzzword because what Cerano is it's actually an agent that goes out to your database and does multi-step reasoning. And that's the reason why it's able to be a lot more accurate. And also, Cerano is read-only. So we intentionally made Cerano so that it cannot write to your database. We know there are people who are doing AI for Odoo using things like MCP that goes out and write to your database. The problem with that is that even though probably 98% of the time, nothing bad will happen, and we can make it work as of today, but we don't want to do that because we feel it's irresponsible because that 1%, or 2% of the time, it could really screw up your database. So we don't want to take that step yet. Something for the future, but not for right now. So I just want to show you some of Cerano's capabilities in this quick demo. So here's the user interface of Cerano. It's very simple. It has a simple prompt, what would you like to know? And this is really the core of what Cerano is about. You have all this data in your ERP. How do you get insight out of it? A lot of the time, so what Cerano is great for are people such as the CEO or the vice president who are not very familiar with the Odoo's user interface, but they still need to get answers. So Cerano, this instance of Cerano is connected to my Odoo database. So let me ask some questions. I can hide the sidebar if I want. So one thing I always like to ask at the end of the day is, show me where I spend my time today. So that's a very simple question to start, but you can ask questions that are extremely complicated, questions that would be very difficult to get from Odoo using the different report views, and it will be impossible for somebody who is not very familiar with Odoo. But with Cerano, you can get those answers very easily. So as you can see, it's thinking for a lot longer for the question that I ask. And unfortunately, that's kind of one of the downsides of Cerano today is that it takes a lot longer to get the result, but at least the results are very accurate. Yeah, so this is a simple answer to a simple question. So I spent 8 hours today, and here are the different projects, the hours, and also it has a chart that shows me visually where my hours went. And you can notice that it puts, for my question, it puts this this category, billable, product, and others. So what are those? Well, in Cerano, if you go into settings, we have a section called custom prompt. So this is a place where you can customize the way Cerano thinks. So it doesn't know about my preferences. It doesn't know about the peculiarity of my database. So one thing that I want to know whenever I'm asking about the hours spent is to distinguish between billable hours, product hours, and other hours. And the way I set it up on my database is I tag those projects with the tag billable, product, or no tag. So this is basically, I'm telling Cerano, just in plain English, this is how I set up my project. And that is the reason why, if I go back to the result, you can see, let me go back to the result here. You can see that it's giving me, it's breaking it down by the billable products and others, and it shows me this corresponding chart. So for example, let's say I want to see a pie chart instead. So can you show me a pie chart of the breakdown between my billable product and other hours? Yeah, so here you can see Cerano came back with a pie chart. And again, because it understood how I tag my projects, I'm able to see at a glance, how much I spend on billable work, which is client work, how much I spend working on products, and how much I spend on other things. So this is something that I look at a lot because I use Odoo as a service company mainly for time tracking and project management. So let's say I want to see the same breakdown, but week by week for the last 24 weeks. So let me ask Cerano, can you show me the same breakdown, but per week in a stacked bar chart for the last 24 weeks? And just on a small side note, in Odoo you can configure your week to start either on Sunday or Monday or any day of the week. But that's another thing I added to my custom prompt to consider Sunday as the start of my week. So if I compare this data to the chart that I generated from Odoo, it's going to match 1-to-1 exactly. So let's just wait a few seconds for the result to come back. Okay, so here you can see Cerano came back with the result. Here's the 24-week view starting on Sunday. And again, because I set that preference in my custom prompt, it knows to always count starting from Sunday. And here is a chart, so I can see my weekly hours, 57, 64 hours. And I can see, the proportion between my billable hours, which are green, the hours I spend on products, which are blue. So it's a really useful chart. And this is just for looking at timesheet data. You can ask questions about your accounting, your financial reports, to analyze your expenses. Any question that you can have. It knows about Odoo very, very deeply, about any module of Odoo, manufacturing, accounting, inventory, purchasing, anything that you can think of, it knows about that in Odoo. And even if you have custom code, it can know about those too. And the way that it can know about your customizations is, again, through the custom prompt feature. So I may shoot another video that teach you how to do that. But in short, the way that you can teach Cerano about your custom code is by using a coding agent, such as Cloud Code. You connect that to your code base, and you ask Cloud Code to generate that custom prompt for you. And then you just copy and paste that text into Cerano. And now all of a sudden Cerano knows everything about your customizations, and you can ask it questions that has to do with those customizations to your database. Yeah, so that's just a quick tour of Cerano. Cerano is right now open for public beta, so you can sign up for an account, attach it to your Odoo database. As long as your database is on Odoo SH or Odoo Online, you can use Cerano with that. And let us know what you think, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.